We tend to think about wealth in terms of dollars, cents, and the things we own. But what if our most valuable assets aren't things we can count at all? Today, we're going to dive into two ancient parables that completely flip the script on what it means to be truly wealthy.
And really, both of these stories boil down to this one big question. Is it our money, our status, or is it something else entirely?
So, what we have here are two stories running side by side, and in both of them, our main characters make the exact same fundamental mistake. They completely miscalculate the price of their own pride, and that mistake puts them on a collision course with a very hard reality check.
In this right here, this is the heart of the whole conflict. On one side, you've got the proud Sivaram, a wealthy farmer, and a group of villagers. Their world revolves around money, status, and fitting in. But on the other side, you have the humble, Narayana and Virya. They find real value in things like family, nature, and a person's character. It's a total clash of worldviews.
I mean, listen to this. Shivaram's arrogance is just, wow. It's on full display. When his own brother, who's fallen on hard times, asks for a little help, this is his answer. It's like he thinks family is just another business deal, something only the rich can afford.
And we see a similar kind of blindness in our second story. The villagers of a place called Rudravaram, they actually cast out a man named Virya. He was living alone up on a mountain, and they just couldn't understand what he was doing. All they could see was some selfish hermit, not the person who was actually protecting the forest, and by extension, them.
But, as you can probably guess, that kind of pride, that kind of misjudgment, it doesn't last. Because in both of these stories, a crisis is brewing. A force of nature is coming that's so powerful, it's going to wash away everything they thought was important.
So, for Sivaram, the first hint that something's wrong, it comes from the sky. The weather starts to shift, and you can just feel this ominous feeling settling in.
And then, bam, it hits. A massive, catastrophic storm that threatens to destroy his entire harvest. The very foundation of his fortune, his status, his pride, everything.
Now in our other story, the disaster isn't some loud, crashing storm. No, it's a quiet dread that starts to creep in. A strange sickness starts moving through the village, and everything just falls silent.
It turns out it's a plague. A terrible fever sweeps through Rudravaram, and it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, nobody can find a cure.
And right here, this is where Sivaram's whole worldview just completely falls apart. The second that storm hits, his paid workers, they're gone. Sure, his money bought him labor, but it couldn't buy him a single ounce of loyalty. And in his biggest moment of need, he's left totally alone.
Okay, so this is the huge turning point in both of our tales. Just when everything seems completely hopeless, salvation arrives. But it comes from the most unlikely place, from the exact people they had scorned and thrown away.
It's Narayana, the brother Sivaram had humiliated, who shows up in the pouring rain, and his reason for being there is just so powerful. He says he's not there for the grain, for the money, he's there for his brother. His actions are screaming that their bond is worth more than any amount of wealth.
And at the very same time, you've got Virya, the outcast, coming down from the mountain. And what's he carrying? The cure for the whole village. He's not there for revenge, not at all. He's there to save the very people who banished him.
And all of this leads to the climax, right? That big moment of truth, where the proud are finally humbled and forced to look their massive mistake right in the face.
You can just imagine what this is like for Sivaram, watching his brother, the one he treated so horribly, fight the storm to save his fortune. It just shatters his pride. All he can do is ask, why? Why would you help me after what I said? And Narayana's answer just cuts right to the heart of it all. Their bond, their family connection, is way stronger than any argument about property.
And this quote, this is Sivaram's big aha moment. He finally gets it. The storm wasn't just about losing his grain. For him, it was like a spiritual cleansing. It washed away all the ugliness of his pride and his obsession with money.
The villagers, they have a very similar moment of clarity. They finally see Virya for who he truly is, not a threat, but their protector. They even call him the father of the village. It's a complete 180 from how they saw him before.
So, after all that, what's the big takeaway here? What are these ancient stories really trying to tell us about what's truly valuable?
Well, the lessons here are absolutely timeless. They remind us that real wealth isn't about riches, it's about our relationships.
that compassion is always, always stronger than arrogance, that your true character doesn't show up when things are easy, it shows up in a crisis. It's about how if we protect nature, nature protects us back. And maybe the biggest one of all, that forgiveness has the power to heal not just people, but entire communities.
When you boil it all down, the message is pretty simple, but it's so profound. The stuff we own is temporary. Who we are and the people we have in our lives, that's the real treasure, the stuff that actually lasts.
So, I want to leave you with this final thought. We all face storms in our lives, right? They might not be a literal rainstorm or a plague, but we all face them. So the real question is, what do those storms reveal about us, about our true character?